Hi Leo, and welcome to the Mother Tressa channel. If you're already familiar with this space, then you know what to expect, so welcome back. But if you are new to this channel, then welcome in, and definitely come in with an open mind and heart and hear everything that I have to say today. And then, if the message does happen to resonate, then do please give me a thumbs up. If you just like the video overall, you like the aesthetic, you like my voice, you like the messages, even though they may not apply to you, then also give me a thumbs up. It is greatly appreciated, you guys. It helps to push my channel forward as one of the recommended channels to watch on YouTube. And just altogether, this platform is pretty saturated with a lot of different content, and so it is a pretty competitive space, which, funny enough, just that type of energy is really coming through for Leos as a sign, just having that competitive energy within you. And so hopefully you're able to express it in a healthy manner, and altogether be able to find enjoyment in whatever it is that you either feel challenged by or feel like you have to compete for a spot in, and or just the way that it may be received on your part for whoever may be coming in to make you feel like there is some sort of competitiveness going on. Now, if it's in regards to a partnership or a relationship, it's very playful. And so again, you can use this energy to your advantage, right? In ways that benefit the both of you, and altogether can make for like a special memory, something that is just really unforgettable altogether. Just playing on your innocence and childlike nature, right? You guys rule the 5th house, which is all about entertainment, jokes, drama, fun, those types of things. So before we get into this spread, I want to tell you what channeled through as I was looking at the transits. And for those that are not familiar with my space, I do try to start it off now with letting you guys know what's happening with the sun, the moon, Mercury, and Venus. Those are the 4 that I'm really trying to put a focus on as I continue to learn things about astrology and tarot altogether, right? But I want to let you know what came through, just in case it flips over in the spread, then that's just further confirmation. But the sun right now, it's in Cancer at 14 degrees, which is that Taurian influence with that number 14. The moon is in Capricorn at the 22nd degree, which is Capricorn energy vibrationally by that number. So you're feeling that it's like a double whammy. The planet Mercury is in Cancer at 7 degrees, which is a Libra influence. And also know that Mercury is still retrograde. And then you have Venus, which is in Gemini still, but at 7 degrees. And it also has that Libran influence. So the words that came to mind when I first finished writing all of this down was fertilization and nourishment. So you guys might be really fertile with ideas at this time. For the men that are watching my channel, you might altogether be fertile, so just watch for that. But also the emphasis on this word and us having to circulate, just depending on what comes through, also depends on, again, like what pops out. But then with that nourishment, it's just waking up and feeling refreshed, or trying to find ways to implement that within your daily routine so that you don't feel like you are, for lack of a better word, just exhausted. That's not what I wanted to say, but I can't think of what I wanted to say. Whatever. And you guys might find that you might be repeating yourself a little bit today. But as an example, when I woke up today, it was thunderstorming here, and I live in Dallas, Texas, for those that might be curious. But I know in other parts of the world right now, or at the time when I woke up, it was sunny, And so I thought about that. Also, it's no surprise because, that Cancerian influence, it symbolizes water. So it's not unlikely that it was going to rain, or that you might find that in your area it's raining a little bit more than usual. That's what happens when you have a lot of planets and just a lot of energy that is Cancerian in essence. But yeah, it was raining, and I'm like, what happens when it rains, right? And in conjunction with the word fertilization that came up, it's like that's how you get plants to grow. When you put something in the ground, you know what I'm saying? Or just when you think about barren land altogether in the earth that we have, like the grass is able to be nourished and flourish because of the fact that it rains, right? It adds the moisture that's needed in the more dry, humid areas or areas that might experience a drought. You know what I'm saying? That's how you can tell that a space is teeming with life, by the greenery, you know, by the fruit of whatever happens to crop out of, you know, the ground. And so in a lot of ways, I feel like you guys will be doing that with yourself, be it a self-care thing. You're fertilizing and nourishing your body with the different foods that you might eat. You might find that you want to eat something that's a little bit lighter, as opposed to something that's like heavy with grease and or just makes you feel really lethargic after you finish eating a meal instead of energized, right? I feel like some of you guys are going to be looking into that. If you have noticed that your skin might be a little bit more dry, you're going to be fertilizing that area of your space by maybe implementing more face masks at this time, and or trying to intake a lot more water, you know. I learned that zinc, if you have a zinc deficiency, that may also be a reason why your skin might be drier. So it's looking at things in terms of that and figuring out what area of your life needs to be fertilized and or nourished at this time. And then little bullet points that came up was feeling a little restless, so that might be coming through with that moon in Capricorn energy. You can also be finding outlets and or different ways to channel your emotions through. So say with the moon being in Capricorn, there's some sort of interception where you might struggle with being able to articulate yourself to your partner, especially in matters that are more sensitive right now. If you know that you cannot verbalize it by talking to them face to face, you might be writing a letter at this time, and or you might put your emotions into a song and recording that, you know, and then giving it to whoever may need to hear it. So it can be those types of things. I also noticed, because I got asked to put in a prayer request today, I noticed that when I was thinking about the situation that I was being asked to pray on, that sounds so weird, but people can pray on you, P-R-E-Y instead of P-R-A-Y, for. So just be careful of who you allow to cover you, you know, with their word. But I found that my prayers were very methodical, very intentional. So that can also be a thing that you can utilize to your benefit at this time, Leo. And then lastly, the bullet point I have here is desire for romantic gestures. So either to give and or to receive. All right. You guys have the Lover's card, followed by the Magician, and the Fool, with the King of Cups at the bottom of the deck, the Two of Swords, and the Page of Coins with the Ace of Swords. I just did Taurus's video, I believe, on Friday. Theirs got uploaded, and they had the Ace of Swords too. So you could be dealing with the Taurus, or there's a placement within your natal chart that is going to be activated very soon. That's going to cause for you, in terms of fertilization, to be able to maybe look at your material possessions and or your savings, because you know Tauruses rule the second house, and seeing how you can either come up with better budgeting or money management or time management skills, things that affect your day-to-day routine and or just your overall ability to function day-to-day. Those things will be tweaked very soon, or it's something that you know you have to do, but with this Two of Swords, there's that cognitive dissonance with realizing that in order for you to really generate the results that you're hoping to see before you, that you actually have to put intention and action behind a lot of those ideas, right? Those bright and brilliant ideas. You guys have a lot of magnificent things that you guys think about, and once you commit yourself to what you feel your career path is, you typically do see a lot of success. People find themselves very drawn to you. You're very magnetizing naturally, right? Because you guys are the sun symbolically. So your presence is always appreciated in whatever space you may find yourself in, Leo. And you may come to realize that you guys are pretty popular. So it's not hard for you to network, which can also come through with this Lover's energy. It doesn't have to be anything that's romantic at this time, though there is confirmation in what I said, that I wrote down on this paper here. in terms of like relationship. But it's not hard for you guys to network. So really be able to utilize that to your benefit, but just be careful in the way that you're choosing to go about it, okay? Because with that Mercury being in Cancer at Libra degrees, you know, Libras are like the hopeless romantics. So speech can have a little bit of fluff behind it, like you're just trying to puff somebody's head up, but you might not actually feel that way. So there can be kind of like those white lies that you're spewing just to get ahead, maybe in your workplace environment. Just be very careful with that. Also, if there are business deals coming in and people try to start off the back with trying to give you all of these compliments to get you to kind of loosen your defenses, you know, and or play to your sympathies here and or your naivety, especially if you're going into a brand new business venture that you're extremely passionate about, but you have no clue as far as the behind the scenes of what it takes to be able to maintain that dream. So just be very careful with those people that might be coming in to try to sell you that type of story, or to come in like they can manage you because, you know, you have the Page of Coins there. Whenever it comes to a business venture, just always look into that person's portfolio, like their body of work. Just to make sure that the vision can actually, to make sure just that the visions match, you know, that it can materialize in the way that you actually see it for yourself, and you're not having to just agree and be complacent with something like a product or a service that somebody gives you, just out of being kind and being nice and understanding the time that it took for them to be able to produce it anyway, even though you might not have the skill set. It's like, okay, well, I mean, they at least did it because I can't do it at all. No, it's understanding what your worth is and being able to ask and negotiate for those things at this time. That also came through a little bit with Taurus's reading, so go watch that, because you might have a placement again that is being activated at this time that you need to pay attention to. You could have a Venus in Taurus, whoever is watching this channel, because people so cross-watch no matter how many times you may tell them not to. But as far as, yeah, there being romantic gestures or desire for that intimacy and or connection with someone, if you're already tied, you definitely have the feeling that this person is your soulmate. And it's about to start raining again. Come on. Like, this is soulmate, twin flame energy, divine union and partnership. This is somebody that you feel is truly meant to be in your life for the long run here. Now, if you're just now partnering with them, say you've only been talking for 2 to 3 days, don't jump the gun. Definitely play to that ignorance is bliss and enjoy the moment and be present in getting to know this person. But we are multifaceted beings, and it takes time to truly be able to really even get a splice of a person's soul, right? So just be wary with the whole love at first sight type of thing. Now, if you've been dating for a while, how I see it is you guys definitely have the same sense of humor. That's what I'm getting, because you know the Magician is like a jokester, a prankster, that type of thing, but you see how the two individuals in the Lovers card are facing each other. So it's not like you do something that's underhanded when you try to joke or prank with them, or you say something that is passive aggressive. It's like very light. It's very light and it's very playful, and it makes the other person want to try to one-up you when it goes back to that competitive energy I was feeling, but like in a good way, you know? Somebody that really keeps you on your toes. That's what I'm getting. You are connecting with somebody, or very soon have the potential to connect with somebody that keeps you off your toes. For others of you, you're looking at this situation as potentially being separated from somebody that you still have feelings for. And so it's a case of the ex that got away, you know, somebody that you kind of let slip through your fingers because you weren't maybe being honest about whatever situation you could have been tied up in. Again, it doesn't always have to be platonic here, you guys. And so you're trying to like weigh the pros and cons as to whether or not it would be in your best interest and the best interest of the person that you might not be talking to at the moment, to reach out and have a conversation. Yeah, I'm seeing that go two ways here. Now, in terms of ideas and money, this is something that you're very hopeful for. If you've pitched this idea, you definitely have somewhat of a following, or just a general sense of support, even if it's not like 10,000 people that are backing you in this idea that you may have pitched to your audience or your fan base or whatever, you know. But there is great potential for it. And so at this time, I feel like you guys are going to be triggered to action, right? Are you going to be brave enough to kind of let the wind behind the sail? I don't know how I'm trying to say that necessarily, but to be brave enough to fall forward and to not be so wrapped up in getting everything perfect, you know, but if you continue to postpone whatever it is that you really want to do or whatever idea or project you need to get off the ground, then you may get to a point where you feel like you missed the train. And there's nothing worse than that, because it's really hard to kind of like deprogram once you feel like you've hit a certain age, or you feel like you should just be in a certain place by now, and or you allow the fear of instability by way in chasing maybe something that is more creative. Again, as I said, finding an outlet to channel your emotions through, be it you interested in music, or something again that's like in the art field. Then you're losing that stability that comes from having that corporate position. And some of you Leos are heavily influenced with that Virgo energy. And so it's really hard for you to be comfortable and to relax when you're not in control, when you're not in the driver's seat. So this is learning how to live on autopilot a little bit, and or to be a little bit more free-spirited and to go more with the flow, right? Don't compromise your thinking. If you get that gut feeling that something just is not a good idea, then definitely don't put yourself in a position to fulfill that prophecy, right? Because you're being given certain signals. But if you have no real rationale for why you're choosing not to move on a certain opportunity, right, that has been bestowed upon you, there is no logical reason why you're trying to deny it or run from it, then at the end of the day, you will come up feeling foolish. Because again, you can be missing out on something that is just extraordinary, okay? Something unlike anything that you've ever experienced before, which can again be frightening because you don't have a rule book, right? There is no manual for how to navigate through that space when it's land that nobody's trodden before. Sorry if it's a little abstract, but that's just me. But you have to take a risk here, Leo. This spread is really asking for you to take a risk because you never know what could be on the other side of that. I am seeing joy. I'm seeing nothing but information. At the end of the day, positive, negative, or neutral, however you choose to go about handling the situation, it's information. It's something that you get feedback from, which, regardless of the circumstance, only helps you progress as an individual, right? It only propels you forward once you have accumulated that. There's wealth in that, right? So this is really up to you. I'm curious to know how you guys handle it. Let me know in the comment section below. Hit if this reading resonated and how it resonated specifically for you. But again, give me that thumbs up if you fuck with my vibe. Turn that bell notification on if you're subscribed. If not, hit that red button. It's free. It's free. But yeah, hit that bell notification so you're made aware as soon as I upload. And if you want a private session, I'm more than happy to sit down with you and record a video that's very similar to this, but just more personalized. Just hit me up in my email that I leave in the description box. But if I don't hear from you, then please just take care of yourself and soul until you see me again. Ciao.